Today we have the 2019 Honda HR-V. All new for 2019 is this sport trim model. This is brand new, plus they added a touring model at the very top of the HR-V chain. Honda made some refreshments on the exterior, the interior, even some to the CVT for the driving dynamics. We're going to take a look at the exterior, the interior, all the features, and go for a test drive. Let's get started. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let's take a quick look at the exterior for this 2019 model. Before we get started, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Honda Cars of Rockwall in Rockwall, Texas, just outside the DFW area. If you are in need of a vehicle, please be sure to check them out. I'll put all their information down below. So starting on this 2019 model, we get revised bumpers, headlights, grille, taillights, and every model will get these LED daytime running lights that you can see kind of running around there, similar to some other Hondas. We get projector halogen headlights, halogen fog lights on this sport trim as well, and this honeycomb grille. I want to know what y'all think. Another thing with the sport trim is we get this glossy black trim piece that's on the front. It runs around the side as well, and those wheel wells as well. And I think it looks pretty good, especially with this red paint. This looks pretty nice, pretty contrasting there. So most HR-Vs will give you 17-inch wheels, but on this sport trim, we get these 18-inch wheels. And those are some pretty big tires for a vehicle like this. I want to know what you guys think of that as well. We do get ventilated disc brakes in the front, solid disc brakes in the back. And another thing with the sport trim is the glossy black mirrors and that underbody trim that I showed you. One unique thing is the door handle is still up here. If you're not familiar with that, you just pull it like a normal door handle. And up on top, we do get the roof rails. You can, of course, get crossbars with that. And one cool thing with this HR-V is that you get LED brake lights on every trim level. As you can see, even on the back, you do get that glossy black bumper down there. And then on the sport trim, we also get this chrome exhaust tip right there. Another cool thing about the HR-V is that starting on the sport trim and up, you will get active noise cancellation. And if you bump all the way up to the all-new touring trim, you'll get multi-element LED headlights, LED fog lights, dark chrome trim, and then for the first time with the HR-V, Honda Sensing is now standard on the EX trim level and higher, which will give you collision mitigation, road departure mitigation with lane keeping assist, and adaptive cruise control. So moving to the cargo area of the HR-V, you will definitely find that it's bigger than this vehicle looks. It's a manual lift tailgate, but it does lift up with the hydraulics. You do have a little handle to pull it down right there. And behind the second row, you'll get 24.3 cubic feet. It's definitely a pretty decent size area back here for how small this vehicle is. And then when you go ahead and fold all of those seats down, you will get 58.8, and you'll lose just a foot with all-wheel drive. So you do have some pretty deep pockets over there. Another big deep pocket over there. And under here, you actually do get a compact spare tire, plus little storage bins there, and actually right underneath that styrofoam is where you'll find that compact spare. So definitely a pretty spacious option. You do even have a light right over there. Let's go ahead and fold those down. All right, we got them folded down. There's just a little lever on each seat. You can do it from back here if you can reach, or you can go into the back seat and do it like I did over there. But really pretty good space right here. And then if you really want more space, you can fold that seat down. If you've got something really long, you can seriously stick some long stuff through here, even take that headrest off. But overall, a really nice, big, spacious thing from the HR-V. Now the key fob for this HR-V Sport is just your basic, your lock, unlock, your hatch opener, alarm. We don't have the smart key system until you get to the EX, and then you have push button start with the smart system, as well as the automatic walk-away locking function. So when you walk away with the smart key, it will lock. But otherwise, we've just got your basic key fob. Hop into the seats of the HR-V and you'll get new fabric on the seats as well as new upper door trim right here. And these seats are actually pretty soft. Once upon a time, cloth seats used to be pretty soft and squishy and bouncy, and then they started getting firm, and now these are pretty soft and I actually like it. So these seats are 6-way manual, the typical forward and backwards of the chair, as well as this back being forward and backwards. And then there's a little pump action where you can raise the seat up and push it back down. And at 5'9", when I'm sitting here, with the seat all the way down, I can put more than a fist above my head, which is pretty impressive for a car this small. Now once you get to the EX, you can get heated cloth seats. The EXL will give you the heated leather seats. Then once you get to the Touring, you'll get an 8-way power driver's seat with double stitched leather. The steering wheel can move up and down, both tilt and telescope. The little knob is quite a ways down, but it's got a pretty decent range of motion, and you can move it quite a bit. Starting out on the HR-V's interior, we do have a nice soft cloth material running across this door right here. We even have a pretty nice soft material for this armrest. It's not the most padded, but this is a nice feeling material right here. Driver's side automatic window right there, other controls here. And then down below we do have a little storage bin. Doesn't really go back, it's a little deeper than it looks. And then a pretty small bottle holder. You could probably fit a plastic bottle in there. Relatively solid door slam. And as we get into the HR-V cabin, you won't see a lot of big differences, but we do have some changes. One being a volume knob right there. This material going across all the way around this screen, as well as this over here, is a nice soft touch material. We do even have soft touch materials next to our knees on both sides right here, plus a leather wrapped steering wheel on this trim as well. And this does feel pretty nice actually, and we have quite a few controls for our gauge cluster, controls for the screen over there, cruise control, voice control settings right here. It's a pretty nice steering wheel. We just don't have automatic headlights on this trim, but you will find paddle shifters, your plus and minus on both sides. Let's go ahead and start it up. So if we don't have push button start in this sport trim, and then Honda's little chime. Now the instrument cluster is pretty basic right here on the LX and the sport trim, but you'll see the trip computer over there, and you can page through those with the steering wheel, but you will get a more advanced 4.2-inch screen on the EX trims and higher. As we go right over here, we've got our Econ button, typical in all Honda models for better fuel economy, traction control, tire pressure monitoring button right there, fuel door opener, and our hood release. Plus on the Sport, we do get these Sport aluminum pedals down here as well. That's a nice touch. Moving across, we do get a 7-inch touchscreen, and like I said, we do have a volume knob right now. That's the only knob on here. You can control the brightness with this. Go to our home button right there. This is pretty typical Honda. It looks very similar to some others that we have, and for a lower trim model like this is pretty nice. It's fairly responsive for what it is. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and even the speaker system is a little bit upgraded compared to the base model. On the Sport trim and higher, you will have a 180-watt 6-speaker system, and on top of that, we shift down into reverse. Every single trim level for the HR-V gets a multi-view backup camera. So as you can see right there, you can go straight down, you can do kind of more straight back, plus a wide angle lens like that. And we even have the dynamic lines like this, which is pretty awesome on a vehicle of this price. Now we don't have blind spot monitoring, but other trims higher than this, the EX will have Honda's lane watch, where you turn the blinker on and you'll be able to see in this screen what is over on the right side. I know a lot of you prefer the blind spot monitoring, and I prefer it as well, but at least you get something. If you don't have that 7-inch screen, you will have a 5-inch screen on the base LX. This is our shifter for the CVT. This is leather wrapped right through here. We've got our typical through drive, and then we do have S mode for more spirited driving. Moving back from our shifter, we have an electronic parking brake and brake hold button, so you can push that without even having to hold on your brake if you don't want to. Up here we have the basic climate control settings. You'd have to upgrade for actual climate control. This is just a manual control, but I like these big dials. They're pretty big, and they do give you kind of a tactile feel, but they do feel pretty nice, and they feel pretty solid and durable. And as you can see, here's some more of that soft touch material right there. Got some more AC controls down below. And then right down here, this is pretty cool. We have a little storage cubby, plus we have 2 more USB ports. One normal charging, and the bottom one is a little bit faster charging. And we have a little storage cubby on the other side with a 12-volt power outlet. Nice little storage cubby from Honda. Then as we move back to our cup holders, as I said, we do have a nice soft touch material here. We actually have some really cool revised cup holders for the 2019 model. Right now I have it to where it's a deeper cup holder, and then right here you can have it be more shallow, and you can move this little arm out of the way. So watch. You can just push that down like that. And in order to get that back out, you just gotta push this button, and then you have a more shallow surface, which is pretty cool. You can have them both shallow, or you can have them both tall like that. Our center armrest is actually pretty soft to the touch. It's quite a ways back. It does not slide forward, and it's pretty darn small underneath of here. As you can see, you do have a little tray there and then a deeper compartment there. There's no charging ports in there though. Going over to our glove box, it's not locking, but it does open softly, and it's actually pretty good size, as you can see right there. We don't have a dimming mirror on this trim. It's just a basic rearview mirror. Same goes with our visors. You have a big mirror up here, but you don't have any vanity lights right here. You'd have to rely on that, but this entire visor will slide in and out. On both sides, you do have a grab handle up there. Then as we turn around and look at our visibility, probably about what you would expect for this class. This is definitely better than the CHR I was in recently. You do have a big pillar back there, but with the lane watch that you can get in the other trims and the multi-angle backup camera, that is nice to have. A few things missing on the sport trim that you can get on higher trims will be the smart key with push button start, a one-touch power moonroof, automatic dimming rearview mirror with the garage HomeLink system, satellite link navigation, and more. Now hopping into the back seat of the HRV, you get the same nice soft material, cloth material there, same soft armrest here, and another bottle holder down there about the same size. And at 5'9", sitting behind myself, I've got pretty good knee space right here and really surprisingly good foot space right here as well. Kind of give you an idea of what it's like with that seat folded down. The magic seats, I will show you that in just a second. And then right here we even have another bottle holder and a 12-volt power outlet as well. My big bottle doesn't fit, but I'm sure most bottles will. And I've actually got pretty good headroom right here on top of that. At 5'9", my head does not touch. I'm actually really surprised how much space there actually is back here. And these headrests are adjustable up and down to accommodate pretty much anybody. There's just no center folding armrest right here. Now the cool thing that makes the HRV so versatile is the whole magic seat setup right here. So as you can see, we have the seats folded flat, and they actually go down into the floor, so it's not like the seat back is up high. So we can have them flat, we can have it up just like this, normal operation, or you can even lift the seat bottom up and it will stay in place just like that. And then you've got tons of space down here. Let me show you right there. And then you've got a huge open space where you can put pretty much anything you want. So to give you guys a better look, you can see I've got those seats up right now. You have all that space right there, plus all the extra space you have in the way back. And now under the hood of the HRV, powering this vehicle is a 1.8 liter four-cylinder that puts out 141 horsepower, 127 pound-feet of torque. And it still has the same CVT, except they did make refinements to the CVT for smoother and more natural shifting, and they actually said it's going to be a little bit more like a stepped gear transmission instead. And in terms of miles per gallon, you will get 28 in the city, 34 on the highway front-wheel drive, or 26 in the city, 31 on the highway with all-wheel drive. All right, everybody, we are on the road for the test drive here in the new HRV. Like I said, this is the sport model, so it's just the second notch up as far as trim levels go, just above the base LX. And I never got a chance to drive one of the older HRVs, so I can't quite give you a comparison of that, but this CVT is supposed to be refined for smoother shifts, a little bit more of a natural feel, and we will kind of get a feel for it once we get out on the road. My initial impression of this vehicle is that it feels like something you can kind of toss around a little bit, honestly. It feels pretty lightweight, it feels pretty nimble. Don't feel like you have to really push very hard on the gas or the brake. Let's see how we go. So that's just partial acceleration. Certainly not floored at all, not even close. And you definitely get, a little bit of a CVT feel. I'm sure once you kind of step on it, you do get more of that stepped gear. Now, the steering is pretty darn lightweight. It's really easy to kind of toss this thing around. Like I was saying, it feels very lightweight, very easy to drive. I could imagine this would be very easy to park. Now the ride comfort is probably about how you would expect for a vehicle in this class and at this price point. It's definitely not the softest and the smoothest going over some stuff. You absolutely feel it, but it's not very harsh either. Hitting some of the stuff in the middle of the road, the little lane dividers and some bumps in the pavement back there, it was nothing that was real disruptive. You could probably hear it there. There is a little bit of body roll, and obviously we weren't going very fast or anything, but now let's go ahead and pull the shifter back into S mode, and then let's get on it a little bit. And you definitely got that, that long pull that you'll get from a CVT. It's definitely a pretty smooth operator. It's a smooth accelerator. Honda did say that they actually added some sound deadening for this model year, some in the floors as well as the passenger side wheel well. So I can't comment compared to the old models, but it's not loud in here by any means. When you go over some rougher stuff in the road, you can certainly hear it a little bit more though. More on that first impression, just going around some little turns, it just feels very nimble. It's kind of a, for being a cheaper car, a slower car, it's fun to drive. I do wish that Honda would put the 1.5 liter turbo in here, or maybe even the 2 liter naturally aspirated engine from the Civic. I think this could definitely use some power. Fuel economy is not bad, up to 34 mpgs. I'm gonna get on it a little bit again. And of course it's not fast. It's not meant to be fast. Like I said, I would like to see a little bit more out of it, but for most of you, I think it'll be just fine. Putting it in sport mode is gonna hold the RPMs a little bit higher, give you a little bit sharper throttle response to help you get going if you need to merge in traffic or something. Taking this turn a little bit sharper. I do like the light steering. It's really easy to handle. I think the handling is probably better than the ride comfort. It soaks things up, but you definitely feel everything that you hit. With the acceleration, you do seem to get a little bit of that small engine-y, kind of unrefined sound, but most of you probably won't even notice that. Overall, it's a pretty easy vehicle to drive. It's pretty comfortable. These seats are actually a lot softer than I was thinking. You have pretty decent visibility for being a crossover, and on top of that, you have some really awesome and massive versatility back there with the Magic seats, and even being able to really fold down and recline that first passenger seat makes this thing capable of hauling a lot of stuff. Now, I was in the Toyota CHR before this. I would say that that's a better handling vehicle, but this is definitely more practical. Neither of them are fast, but it kind of depends what you're looking for. This has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto when that doesn't, so something to keep in mind. I will also be reviewing the Nissan Kicks soon after this, as well as the Hyundai Kona, so some competitors to this. If you definitely want more value, this sport trim is a pretty good option. And on top of that, it would not be a bad idea to look at the EX. You do get some more goodies with that, and if you want leather, of course, you can go to the EXL or Touring, but at those price points, I think you're just better off probably getting a more expensive vehicle in general. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate you guys watching my videos. I apologize that it's getting dark right now. I was in a time pinch on this video, but leave your comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. I want to know what you think of this vehicle, so please be sure to comment below. Once again, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you next time.